Turning now to the crisis in Libya and reports that NATO is saying that a friendly fire airstrike possibly killed 5 rebels on the ground. Meantime, we're getting incredible images of a missile striking the ground in a key port town of Braga. Take a look at this. Pretty big hit there, and now there are brand new concerns just out this morning that snipers fighting with pro-Qaddafi forces are targeting women and children. Let's talk to retired Army General James Spider Marks. General, good morning. Good to talk to you. And let me start with this report about the snipers, because I read it this morning. It's from UNICEF, the United Nations department that tries to protect children around the world. And they say that there is evidence that pro-Qaddafi snipers are going out and picking off women and children in the 3rd largest city in Libya. If these reports are accurate, what does that mean for this conflict and whether or not it needs to be escalated to finally get rid of Gaddafi?
It means boots on the ground. The only way that you prevent this type of atrocity is through counter-sniper type operations. Excuse me. You don't do that from the air. You do that from the ground. Very precise teams with the capability to go out and go after those that are targeting women and children. I mean, we should not be surprised. It's absolutely atrocious. But this is the type of warfare that we're looking at right now. I mean, there's really lots of chaos. There's no sense of integrity either on the rebel side, but there seems to be a concerted effort on the part of Gaddafi to really attack asymmetrically. He's doing this. He's playing this very, very well, quite frankly.
Well, this is a guy who has nothing to lose, and this is a president here in the United States who has promised right from the get-go there will not be U.S. boots on the ground. Is he going to be able to keep that promise?
Rick, here's the point. They've defined it. The administration defined this early on, or at least initially, as a humanitarian effort to protect civilians. If that is, in fact, the overriding reason to be there, we're now in a circumstance that we should not be surprised, where civilians are still being targeted in very nefarious, very vicious ways. And it's going to continue. There's absolutely no reason why Gaddafi would stop doing that. And again, the only way you do that is you put boots on the ground. Now, we all understand that there can be multiple troop-contributing nations to try to separate these fighting forces on the ground.
They don't have to be U.S. boots.
But they don't have to be U.S., but again, very frankly, the U.S. does this better than anybody else. But multiple nations have great capabilities in very niche areas in terms of application of combat force. So there could be, should be, boots on the ground to stop this type of operation.
Now, didn't the president sign a directive that was revealed later on that allowed CIA special ops on the ground in order to try to coordinate and work with the rebels, try to help them in, I guess, in organizing and in planning and strategizing? Is that still going on? Because there's another report that we alluded to in the introduction here about these NATO strikes that hit rebels on the ground who were in armored vehicles that NATO apparently didn't even know they were going to be in.
We should assume that the CIA is there, and frankly, the CIA does what you just described exceptionally well. What they don't have is mass in terms of numbers. They probably have a finite number of teams in very specific areas. So they're not everywhere on this battlefield. And also, that battlefield has defined itself with incredible irregular lines. You have pockets of resistance and rebels all over the place. So the real challenge is, how do you make sense of all of that? And frankly, the rebels should probably trade a little space for time and get back and get their political and tactical act together.
A messy situation, getting even messier if these reports about snipers going after women and children are correct. James Spider Marks, retired Army General. Good to talk to you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rick.